Alright. Well, I have, the opportunity to. I'd like to promote some local businesses in this video, namely 2 restaurants. The other one will be shown different parts, but they are some of the only local eateries within the city as of right now. And, well, as you can see, all the main restaurant attractions of the municipality are really jammed to this one sector of the downtown area. But in terms of culinary artistry, I'll call it, and passion put behind food prepared, I want to showcase what is the most popular restaurant, yes, in the entire area, but is a small business nonetheless, and is popular for a reason, and that is barbecues. Now, I have to say, this place is, without a doubt, the most authentic, multi-ethnic, culturally themed restaurateur business that I have ever been to in my life. It is one of the best small business restaurants I have ever been to. I mean it. Their food is... They have dishes, I mean it, from all over the globe. Canada, United States, England, Scotland, Bulgaria, Turkey, Armenia, Azerbaijan, India, Sri Lanka, South Africa, you'd have influence from Egypt, Libya, Bolivia, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and so on and so forth. I mean it, from all over the globe, even including the Caribbean nations, Bahamas, Jamaica, Trinidad. They have such a variety of foods, and the recipes that they've created, and it's really mind-blowing in terms of passion put behind it. It's all authentically prepared. They use, I don't know who their grocers are, who they buy from specifically, but they predominantly use actually well-prepared agricultural product, and the amounts that are mass-produced, they use very minimal of. I can clearly tell. But yeah, I know, just to pause here, I know you've seen the same opening location 3 times in a row. Yeah. Like I said, it's not a large city. For size comparison, it's a little smaller than the city of Lachute, Quebec, that I went through, if you recall back to that. But anyway, and on top of that, they not only have dishes, they make authentic cultural dishes from nations all across the world, multi-continental. But on top of that, they also have their own variations, their own modifications to dishes. And well, okay, they've created dishes with accurate ingredients to, or obviously with the region we're in, the world right now, Canada, needed alterations for what they can afford to obtain, but in that with similar enough ingredients to be considered culturally accurate, but creating their own personalized dishes with from recipes from the region, clearly, of wherever the dish comes from, without, as far as I'm concerned, culturally appropriating them. It's not like cultural appropriation where they're just claiming that this is a dish that is specific to this nationality, when in reality it's just a mass alteration, or a mass, it's like a mass Canadianized version of it. No, they actually take ingredients that would be local to the region, or attempt to, and make their own dishes out of it. And it's incredible. I've eaten here constantly. You're a sight for sore eyes. But well, anyway, enough of my jibber jabbering. Let's go inside. Wow. That that is a comically tiny excavator. That is wow, I wouldn't. Well, it must be. Its engine power must be quite strong. Its size is possibly. Well, not representative of its full power because it doesn't even look like it'd be able to push the actual metal scoop. And over here, is another comically tiny. Oh, it's a tiny. What the heck? It's a tiny excavation digger. It's. Well, its metal shoveler is more of a claw form. Yeah. It's comically small. Really small. The little joys. Alright, so the other place, restaurateur business that I'd like to highlight is here. And you will have seen, well, the little Halloween themed event that transpired that they organized out in the parking lot here in part one. Wellbeing Cafe. Now, they are, as of current, the only, and I do mean the only, local coffee shop business in the entire city. There are no other companies within their industry at all here as of right now. There might have been before, maybe one or two more earlier on when, well, expansion of the municipality occurred. But, well, if there were, they've gone under. But as far as I'm concerned, they try to make authentic, more Newfoundland cultural style, well, sweets and drinks. All right, let's go in. Uh, yeah, no shit. Ah, maybe that's why. Thanks for the attempt.
The gateway is around the hospital, the Senior Lake. I got walking that day, but was closed. I saw the vehicles. They have to rent the what is the name four by four. That's not yeah, but was closed. I have my driver license from Argentina, but
safety of all contractors slash visitors is mandatory to sign in upon arrival and sign out prior to leaving the building. Sign. Minors located at the front desk, thank you for your cooperation. Health and safety managers. The right way is the safe way. Well, surely doesn't seem like it. Answer these questions to not proceed to the shop.
So I came here to see about possible employment. This is a local metal welding manufacturer. And as you can tell, I went in to see if I could speak to just any general assistant at the front desk. I had already tried to do so once before starting the recording. But even throughout the entire facility, even the actual warehouse, it's just up and abandoned, it looks like. Safety is our priority. Well, not exactly. All manner of doors. Okay, what is common in industrial sectors for safety requirements typically, well, they're usually heavy on locking doorways to areas that need high-grade protection, or even just typically locking if the facility is closed and there's no one there on standby, just locking the doors. But everything was unlocked. Even the garages wide open with heavy hydraulics, large machinery. The entire welding area was just open, and no one was there at all. And it's clear that, well, electrical generation is clearly operational because something was clanging around in there automatically. Where the heck did they go? Alright, I just went to their other two location divisions in the industrial area, and one is closed, and the other, well, nobody seems to be there. Again, that is strange. Again, I'm not condoning excessive locking of the facilities. I don't condone that one bit, as you know by now. But for the highly dangerous machinery, you would think you'd at least want to, just as a little precaution, close the giant warehouse garage doors. Or at least shut the doors. Like the back door there was just wide open. Everything was just wide open. That is very strange. Did they just get, for whatever reason, called to IOC's mine? Or to Cora's mine? Did they just get called to one of the mines on an emergency? It'd be interesting as well. They're a metal manufacturer. I know they have paradeals with iron ore and Tacora, and thus Rio Tinto. I'll discuss all of that later. But the only thing I could think of that they would be at all called for in terms of an emergency is if there was a structural problem with any amount of, well, metal material that they'd built for them. Nothing to do with the actual, well, the actual mining operation. Unless they were using metal scaffolding to, well, act as support for certain tunnel structures. But I think I think the city would be hearing about that by now if there was a collapse. Yeah, it's, that's odd. So today is National Truth and Reconciliation Day for the 175-year-long mass cultural genocide towards the various indigenous groups of Canada. And, of course, more performative activism, as is always present in, well, everywhere. So, the provincial flag for Newfoundland Labrador, outside of the public theater, it's put at half-mast. Okay? But the flags outside of City Hall, they're all just kept right up in place. Just flying high. Now, for those of you in the area, might be screaming at me, oh, shut up. It's on a cross-type pole. There's no way for them to lower them. Yeah, well, there's a way for them to take them down then. So, you care about lowering it to half-mast to so-called show remorse for horrible actions that your nation committed? Yeah, well, then why don't you compromise by taking these down completely? Why don't you do that? You have the ability to do that, so take them down. Now, obviously, I'm not being sarcastic about that. If they actually cared, they would take them down. But even if they chose to do that, as far as I'm concerned, well, in regards to everything else, it once again would just be out of performative action. And I know for a fact, absolutely, that you fellas don't care one bit. In fact, actually, let me go see. Seeing as you fly the Vaticano flag every day, 24/7, at high mass, let's go take a look. Let's see if it's still up in the air or if it's at half mass. Oh wow, okay, no, actually you might very well have the ability to lower those, but you didn't. Nice. Oh wow, what do you know? It's at the tippy top of the pole. There's no attempt made to even lower it an inch. It's just been left high up there. And so have these ones. Yeah, once again, the national flag, the provincial flag, and the municipal flag, well, even on this crossed pole, it's still just left up. And again, I think you might be able to lower, at the very least, you might be able to lower the provincial and the municipal. But they chose not to. Or if they couldn't, they just chose to not take them down. So what? The only facility worth supposedly commemorating the thousands of deaths and years of complete generational abuse, the only place worth lowering any amount of supposed symbol of nationality was the public theater. That's it. Oh, what do you know? Even here, it's still flying high. Real nice. Wow, okay. Yeah, there, and I missed that one. There too. Right beside. You are the soul, in combination with forces like you and forces like you. But you are the main proprietor of the murder. You're the culprit. You're the main culprit. The absolute main culprit. Not this church specifically, I mean the mass Christianization, the Catholic Christianization of Canada. You are the culprit. So nice to see how much you care. So the other day, I took a little walk in the direction of, well, the northwest of the municipality, over here to Reddy Street. And overall, even within the last video when I mentioned that most of the northern end of the city, there is portions that, closer to the central area, seem to house those of more upper middle class status. Well, I've discovered a couple, and I mean a couple of houses over here that are clearly tucked off or have been built up over here purposefully in a very desperate attempt at pseudo-segregation. And I thought that this would be one municipality, smaller one, that in terms of cityscape status had very little amounts of pseudo-segregation, not in, say, like the case of Laval, where the elites just have no care of trying to separate themselves and know that they rule the area, but just that most of the landlords, well, there literally wasn't enough space for housing developments to be pushed off anywhere, or that an amount of said prominent economic figures lived in the city of St. John's, Newfoundland, or maybe even in the city of Happy Valley Goose Bay. And while an amount of that may be true, well, on another level, nope. I obviously don't know what employment positions these individuals hold, but clearly, most likely, they're affiliated to the mines in some way. But, yeah, as you'll see in a moment. Hello, kitty. Okay, you'll see in a moment, this tucked away portion in the northwestern end is at most upper middle class predominant. Some maybe even bordering into higher extended wealth. As should be noticeable now. I mean it. Like, this is tucked back. And this is, I believe, this is a cul-de-sac. It's a turnaround at the end. Well, yeah. Some amount of business to do with the mines. So if you will have seen the back end of this house overlooking the lake, because of course it does, in one of the clips prior, this is the most beautiful lake view I have discovered so far in the entire city. Look at that. Wow. The water's dark green and shimmering. It's beautiful. Oh my, but that's not beautiful. I didn't even notice that house. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, this is the residence of the local elites. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Oh, of course, even in a municipality this size, cannot escape the trendy Japanese-influenced, modernized architectural design that North American hierarchs love so much. That looks like it has more Czech design. Yeah. Yeah, it's, turn around. Now, I don't know, because I spoke to some people recently who told me about 3 homes that were supposedly, they're on a tucked off road that supposedly, from what they heard, belonged to the wealthiest individuals within the area. I don't know if they meant Riddy Street here or another road that I'm going to trek up momentarily, but I'll find out soon enough. Oh, there's a dirt buggy trail that goes off into here. I'm not going down you today, at least right now. And another comically tiny excavator. Excavator slash forklift. They're not a common design for, well, construction vehicles I've seen within Canada. Maybe you're of Central or Eastern European design. Not sure. Okay. Let me get off this eyesore of a street. Well, you know what? I'll give it this. At least amongst all the beauty, well, I guess their pseudo-segregation is... I could welcome it in some regard, because at least they're pushed back. They're not within the rest of the... are not taking up a large space of the municipal structure, so I guess I should be thankful for that. I don't have to see this nonsense unless I actually walk down this way. Yeah, of course you did. Of course you had involvement in constructing all this. What a surprise. It really is a shame that, despite the pleasantness of the weather right now, for someone like me, it is completely unnatural to this region. Every one of the locals that I've talked to, spoken to, have said this lukewarm weather, this is the warmest that the region has been on record. In past decades, there would be a light amount of snowfall by now, and it would be in the negative digits even in the day. Like snowfall as early as August. There hasn't been a single amount. It's all because of global warming. And apparently, the water levels, especially on Wabush Lake, the tide has lowered by about 2 feet in the last 2 years. And like the shore banks, the water level has completely lowered from evaporation in stormy weather and it never precipitating again. Yeah, and it hasn't risen in 2 years. Great. Thank you, IOC and Rio Tinto. So I want to correct another thing. I'll take a minute to do so here in the first part of the series. So, and this relates to something else, but I also just want to correct it. So, I had said that a smaller portion of the population of the city, the indigenous population, is of Inuit heritage predominantly. That was incorrect. So, apparently, localized to this region of the pre-Arctic, those of Inuit ethnicity, it's not this low in Labrador. Those who are of Inuit background will be further up north in Labrador and also closer to the northern portion of Quebec. So the local indigenous population around here is called the Innu. Uh, they're culturally similar to those of practicing, well, similar to the cultural practices of those of Inuit background in the north, but they're a distinctive, separate people group, and they speak, well, the Innu language, which there is some signage around, a minimal amount, but around that has Innu writing on it that I've seen. And to correct, the amount of businesses around here that have some portion of indigenous cultural products, it would be of definitely be of Innu background. Fashion-wise, seem to have many similar traits with those of Inuit background in the region close to here in the pre-Arctic. But regardless, but I also bring that up because so with the amount of things that have been most likely rather recently renamed to original Innu spelling for certain facilities. One of them is the high school for Lab City. For the last little while, it has been the high school's name is Menahek High School.
And there's also a shop at the top of one of the mountains with a ski resort that is called Menehek. And it's an Innu name. I found that out because researching it, but only because specifically of noticing on Google Maps. I took a screenshot of it and it's still up for a week straight now. It's been like this. And if anyone who is affiliated to the school staff for Menehek High sees this, well, you might want to take a look. One of the students, I don't know anyone who goes to the school, but I definitely know it was one of the students. Either that or was a disgruntled former employee. But most likely an aspiring coding programmer who is self-trained. Somebody hacked into, I know for a fact, because I used to do this all the time at my schools back in Toronto. Somebody clearly hacked into the school's account on Google. I don't know if each individual school in the region has their own managed accounts, or if they're all under control of the servers under control of the Labrador West District School Board. But somebody hacked into the account, changed the name of Menehek High to Dogwater High School. I'm not kidding. Dogwater High School. Yeah. And it's still, as if for a whole week straight, it's been called on Google Maps Dogwater High School. It's still up. Last I checked, it's still up. For a whole week. And for a second, I just wanted to double check. Well, finding out that the name was originally of Innu origin, well, maybe in the language it has some relation. Maybe they just changed it to the English closest translation to the name Menehek. Maybe it has some relation to dog and water. No, it means, at least, if I'm recalling correctly, Menehek means in Innu trail of the stream, or trail of the river, or trail of the river path, something along those lines. So it has to do with a body of water, but no, nothing in relation to canines. So, yeah, someone clearly was screwing around purposely, and Menehek High is currently called Dogwater High School on Google Maps. If anyone from the school sees it, that's hilarious. Good job. Yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. Dogwater High School.